All right, y'all, I'd like to call to order the January 28th, 2025 meeting of the City of Charleston Committee on Ways and Means. Thank everybody for being here. And on the absence of Councilmember Parker, I think I'll call on our junior member in residence tonight to bring forward an invocation or a moment of silence. Councilmember Tinkler. Thank you. All right, first order of business is approval of minutes from January 14th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion, additions, deletions, corrections? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next is bids and purchases. Do I have a motion? Any discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Before we get into the body of the Committee on Ways and Means agenda, I've got 3 items I'd like to ask for consideration to be added to the agenda. I'm going to read them out, and if you have any questions before we vote on it, all of them are for exigent circumstances, and as you all know, this will take a supermajority to add to the agenda. These all come, by the way, from yesterday's Real Estate Committee meeting. The first is authorization for the mayor on behalf of the city to execute all necessary documents for the city to become an accommodation party to a mortgage to be placed on 135 Meeting Street, which is the Gibbs Museum of Art, to secure a loan being issued to the Carolina Arts Association for the acquisition improvements of property known as the E.B. White Building. Just so you all know, the city will not be on the hook to actually pay the principal of that loan. The exigency, by the way, of this is the closing is, hold, please, wait for it, today. All right, the second to be added is authorization for the mayor to execute an extension to lease and management agreement between the city of Charleston and Care Alliance Health Services, DBA Roper St. Francis Healthcare, for the Low Country Senior Center located at 865 Riverland Drive, to extend the term to March 31st, 2025. We own that piece of property. The exigent circumstances here is that lease expires at the end of the month, which is just a few days away before we meet again. And the last is to take up, and you have it on your desk as a separate item. It's in the form of a document that says Fourth Line Capital Management on the top. It is a letter of intent between the city and Fourth Line for leasing a 3-year lease on space at 200 Meeting Street. This is the property that we're going to lease to house for a period of 3 years or perhaps less, those who are currently housed at 75 Calhoun Street. And the exigency here is we need to get this letter of intent done, signed, and get that property ready for our staff no later than July 1st of 2025. So if I could entertain a motion to add any or all of these to the agenda. We've got a motion and a second to add. Is that all 3 of these items to the agenda? All right, is there any discussion, any questions, any concerns, any comments? If not, all in favor of adding these items to the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We will add these to the end if that suits everybody okay. And now back to our, regularly scheduled programming. All right. First item on the agenda, and the regular agenda is number 4, the Chief Policy Officer in the Special Projects Department, authorization for the mayor to execute contract amendment in the form substantially similar. This is for $15,800 on the design of the low knee wall at the Broad Lockwood corner. This is, by the way, just as a point of interest, was a request from the Coast Guard to make sure that whatever effects are felt from the building of this project do not negatively affect the Coast Guard project. This did, by the way, come through Public Works yesterday, and I believe Councilmember Waring was unanimously accepted and recommended. Do I have a motion? We had a motion a second. I'm sorry. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, number 5. Chief Policy Officer Special Projects request to commit to funding the construction costs of Phase 1 of the Low Line project, Mount Pleasant Street to Line Street, alongside a matching funding commitment for all design service costs by Friends of the Low Line. The anticipated funding for Phase 1 will be the Cooper River Bridge TIF funds. The amount is $15 million. Am I correct about that? We've got a motion for approval. I just want to point out that this matter was taken up today by Traffic and Transportation. It was not a unanimous vote. All in favor. There was 1 abstention. With that, I've got a motion. Do I have a second? I've got a motion and a second. I'll open the floor for discussion. Any questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, number 6.
Mr. Chairman, I would move 6, 7, and 8 together for approval.
The motion is to take and to approve 6, 7, and 8.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of approving 6, 7, and 8, please notify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Number 8, Parks, approval to accept the Keep South, 9. Excuse me, I'm going to readjust my trifocals. Number 9. Number 9,
Second.
Parks, approval, $10,000 grant, amount of $10,000. We've got a motion, a second. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Number 10, Public Works Section, approval to add Daniel Island Cainhoy Waste Collection Services in the contract we already have with Trident Waste and Recycling LLC. The fiscal impact per house rate is $15.61 per month. Given the estimated growth in contract area, this per house rate keeps the projected expenditures under the budget. We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Gregg is not here, but as you will recall, we both represent Daniel Island. This is much needed, wanted, and desired out there. So that's my minor lobbying effort. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor? Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. Traffic and Transportation, this one's great, by the way, a little annotation on the front. Approval to submit the Bloomberg Asphalt Art Grant application requesting $100,000 to fund art installations in the surrounding area of the intersection of Lockwood Boulevard, otherwise known as the Slip Lane. We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, questions about this? Certainly be interested to see what this looks like in form. If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Number 12 is real estate approval of a proposed lease agreement by and between the Historic Charleston Foundation as lessor to the City of Charleston as lessee of 108 Meeting Street to be used as city offices. This also came through the Real Estate Committee and, Mr. Chairman, I believe was unanimously approved. Am I correct about that? That's you, Councilmember Appel. I think silence is assent. The answer is yes. All right. We've got a motion and a second on an item that came to, y'all pay attention. You're all, listen, thinking hard. We got it. All right. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Now on to our addendum items. We'll call this one 13, which is authorization of the mayor to basically sign all the documents necessary to close on a piece of property known as 141 Meeting Street sometime before sunset today. We've got a motion. Is there a second? Any discussion, questions? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Just as a point of interest, I think, for this body, that property is closing today. The Gibbs and the city collectively are acquiring 141 Meeting Street. It will be officially on the books, I believe, when it gets recorded sometime in the next 3 days. So thank you all for your help on that. It's been a really incredible journey and looks like it's the end of the beginning and the beginning of the end there. All right. Did we vote? We voted. Very Shakespearean. All right, we voted. Next, which will be item number 14, is authorization of the mayor to execute extension of the lease agreement with Roper. I've got a motion and a second. Do I need a third? I don't. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. And last, but certainly not least, is the authorization for the mayor or to execute and to provide the letter of intent for the leasing of 200 Meeting Street. And there's a second. Any discussion? Got a question from Councilmember Gregory.
I know that we're going to be leasing buildings to accommodate the relocation of staff. At some point, can we get the total dollar amount that we're going to be paying to lease and accommodate our staff? Okay, just because I want to look at it and see whether or not it might be better to buy, because it just seems like we're going back to how it was, Mayor. And I understand why we are, but I just want to know whether or not there's enough money there that over time we can go on and either build or purchase.
I certainly can get you that information. And actually, one of the things that I'm going to be presenting tonight at council is some interesting details related to the office plan study that we've done internally. So I think you'll like it.
And I think, by the way, timely, and thank you for that, Mr. Mayor, with the approval of this, that really is a call to arms for all of us around this table, because this is a lease. I know you've all paid very close attention to it. It is a lease for 3 years and 3 years only. The escalation clause is prohibitive, so we've got 3 years to really get our act together across the board and across the city for housing for our very capable and underpaid staff. So there's a lot to be done. So with that, are there any other questions? If not, and it's a very good one. If not, I will call the question. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Is there any other matter to come before the Committee on Ways and Means? If not, by acclamation, I will call us to be adjourned.